we take in the feel and the message of that song, we just allow it to settle us in to, with another breath, bring our energy quieter, more centered, fully present here in this opportunity to learn and grow, fully present within this space, feeling the waves of energy moving. They're always moving, but do we always pay attention? I swear he said no. Did he say no? Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to recenter a little for that. That was awesome. Okay, so maybe we won't be as relaxed in this meditation. Maybe we'll just giggle on through. I absolutely adore that. And we feel that energy. We allow that energy to be ours. Not that we're taking something on of someone else's. Not that we're getting more amped up or less amped up based on what someone else is doing, but we are feeling into the energy that exists around us and finding our space in the flow. Doing an internal check-in. Where is my energy right now? Is it up high? Is it lowered? Is it chaotic? Is it concerned or worried or just feeling content? It's all something that belongs, and it's all an opportunity for us to check in, to recalibrate, and to decide how we want the rest of our time here to be. Where do we want our energy to be flowing? How do we want to receive the information that will be imparted? How do we see others here in this space? What do we feel others are bringing to this space? Any judgment there? If there is, we simply acknowledge it. We allow it. We give it a little gratitude and we send it on its way. And then we reopen, recalibrate, do a little reset into the space, knowing that this and every space is indeed holy ground. Every situation, every opportunity, every disturbance is a holy, sacred event that invites us to be deeper and more expansive. To allow the flow to be all over the place and know that we can center in the presence wherever the rest is. Our opportunity in every moment to relax, to release, to expand our awareness, and to move forward even more peaceful, even more loving, even more accepting, even more aware of our own internal power as to determining our experience. It doesn't matter if someone out there makes noise, I can still be quiet inside. It doesn't matter what's happening on the outside. My inner choices determine my experience. We're just going to take that. We're going to leave the music this morning playing. Instead of going into total silence, we're just going to follow the notes and see where they take us for just a few moments. just allowing. And then another breath. Another bit of relaxation, just checking in. Where is our body right now? What's going on internally? Grateful for the notifications. We allow ourselves to remember that the presence of God is in it all. The divine flow is ours to be a part of, to allow, to recalibrate when necessary, breathing in and saying, thanking God. Thank God for the opportunity to learn, to grow, to evolve, and to be the presence of God in this world. We are grateful. We say thank you. And so it is. And amen. Amen. How can I win if I'm not on my side? Doggone it. There's kids in the room. How can I win if I'm not on my side? How can I win if I keep avoiding the things that I need to face? How can I win if I keep putting off the inevitable? Right? And really, what is inevitable? We decide. See, that's the thing, and Steve says it a lot, and it's oh so true. It's all choices. It's all our choices. Everywhere our life goes is all based on the choices that we make. I know everybody's waiting to hear because a few people have asked me, but I stayed in Tennessee till Friday. Yeah. I stayed till Friday. I came home Friday morning, and this whole talk, this whole month, we're stepping into empowering will. The power of will. Our will is tantamount to the choices we make. Our belief system, our BS, underlies any choice we'll ever make. So it's really, really, really important. It's one thing I'm learning as we're moving through the 12 powers, Unity's 12 powers this year. What is the belief system underneath that's steering what we're doing? That's steering the choices we're making, that's informing the things we're doing, and how in touch with it are we really? I am absolutely going to be the sacrificial lamb for this message today in my trip to Tennessee and my recent relationship extravaganza. You know, after the passing of my husband, I knew I was changed. I knew there were some things that were different about me that were likely never going to be the same. And I also knew that I really wanted to thrive. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm a bit of a firecracker, and I have a lot of enthusiasm, and I really love life. Those things are at the core of my belief system and of the choices that I make. And I knew that I was changed. And I knew that I had fear around relationship. I'm hoping that as I move through this talk today, as much as I talk about me, I'm hoping you're looking at you. I'm hoping there's something in the things that I share that will brush up against something that you are holding or wrestling with or working your way through. Because these are the only eyes I can see through. I can talk to you. I can hear what you're going through. I can empathize. I can commiserate. I can hold you in prayer. I can believe in the moment of doubt better things about you than you might believe in that moment. However, these are the only eyes I can see through. So I got to use what happens to me to hopefully touch something that happens in you. To my own detriment sometimes. So when I stepped back into relationship, and I had a bumpy road there, I had a few invitations out and a few possibilities of relationship, and every time something inside me crashed and burned fabulously. And each time I thought, okay, not yet. But what can I learn from this? How can I step forward with what's happening in me right now? What will it shift and change in me? See, can you meet the conflict in your life? Can you meet those places that you feel like you're stuck in your life? Can you meet them with an attitude of curiosity and a wondering, oh, where is this going to take me? Because the power of will is going to be the determiner of that. Because we can use our will to dig in, be right, decide that that's all that matters, and move forward. And there's repercussions for the actions that we take. There are new and different situations that slide into place because of our choices. So when the time came and I did actually step into relationship, I knew that I had some parameters in my head. I knew that I've done happily ever after. I found the yin to my yang, and I had a beautiful marriage that I loved every minute of. I did till death do us part. What do you need to follow that with? You're not looking anymore for that match. My eyes are different now. The things that I see are different now. And so I stepped into relationship thinking, if this is something that adds to my life and my experience, and I can have a good time and some fun, and I can have somebody to kick around with, yes, absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I didn't realize how firmly I fixed that paradigm until my last trip to Tennessee, when this poor man was at the end of his wits with trying to help a situation, and I said just the wrong thing that lit the fuse, and off he went. And my immediate and visceral and seemingly unreversible response was, oh, no. I'm not here for this. I'm not here for this. When I went to Tennessee this time, we had tons and tons more conversation. See, we never stop talking. That's the thing. Our will. We have the will where we can say, I am done with this, and this is a brick wall, and I'm never going here again. Or we can get curious about our reactions and our responses and wonder where they might lead us if we would only meet them with curiosity instead of fear. And so we never stopped talking. In the 6 weeks since I left there, we talked every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. Because both of us, one thing that was at work in the belief system was, if this happened, it happened for a reason. What's the reason? What can we learn, and how can we grow from this? We'll either grow into being friends, we'll grow into relationship again, but we hit this brick wall at 90 miles an hour for a reason. And this time while I was up there, there was conversation while we were shopping in the grocery store. You know, that's the best time to have your deepest conversations. And while we were shopping in the grocery store, we had started a conversation in the car. It continued into the aisles of the grocery store while we were deciding what we were going to have for dinner. And he said, I saw me in you. I watched, because I told him, I said, I had a visceral nope. And he said, oh yeah, I watched it from the outside. And he said, I saw you completely shut down. And time went forward, and I realized it took me at least a week after I got home even to make the discovery that I had a paradigm for relationship fixed so firmly in my mind. And one of my beliefs is, if you're going to be in relationship with someone and you have a fight and then make up and go on, that's the stuff of serious relationship. That's long-term relationship. That's something more than just kicking around with somebody and having a good time. And that was the first argument we ever had. It took a year, but it happened. And I had that paradigm so fixed that I was unwilling and unable to flex in that moment. Thankfully, I happened to be with someone who didn't hit a brick wall and stop there. Someone who also meets brick walls with curiosity. Which way to go? Left, right, up, back. And we had enough conversation and enough working through and enough self-reflection to say, wow, he said I was a real a-hole. And I said, yeah, you were. And I said, and I was absolutely and entirely inflexible. And he said, yeah, you were. And in the midst of our blow-up, we were actually working on a project that needed every ounce of focus and cooperation that anyone could ever try to bring up while something was happening. So we were breaking up and our relationship exploded while we were cooperating at superhuman levels to accomplish something. And he said this time to me, he said, if we weren't in such a mess, I would have laughed. He said, how did we do that? And I said, I know, right? You know, when you're mad at somebody, you can't give them that. You know, you're just grudgingly going along with whatever you're doing. So, what are our brick walls creating in our lives? What are we doing after the full stop happens? How are we reflecting about it? Are we patting ourselves on the back and reinforcing our belief in how right we are? Because if that's the case, we stop learning. And guess what? The next person that comes along in relationship with a different face and you think a whole different set of things, here we hit the repeat button and it's going to show up again. We are invited in this lifetime to learn everything we can from everything that happens. Now, warning, if I had a warning light above my head, it would be flashing right now. We can become addicted to analyzing what went wrong, where we are, what we could do. We can become addicted to that process of what happened. Oh, here's my trauma. Here's the thing. I was talking to somebody about this recently. Analyzation, going to see a psychologist, going to see a counselor, those are wonderful things. And some counselors will even tell you that we are so programmed to find the source of the wound, to uncover the wound, and to get ourselves to a place of peace with it, that sometimes we forget that's only half of the journey. See, we can become paralyzed with the analyzation, with trying to figure out how and what we did wrong and how and what we could do differently. We can become paralyzed in that place of, it's my stuff. I have a friend of mine for 30 years. If I had a nickel for every time that person said, I just need time away to be with my stuff and analyze my stuff, I would be a millionaire right now. Meanwhile, over 35 years now, that person is relatively in the same place they were when I met them 35 years ago. Because here's one of the biggest keys. Yes, dig in. Know that you made it through that trauma, and so it is safe for you to dive in and pick it apart and tease out all the pieces because you've already come past it, right? You're here. You're not there. You're not 6 or 12 or 15 or 32 or even who you were a week ago. It's safety. We're in God. God is the allness of beingness. It's everything, and we're inside of it. We're breathing God. Our heart is beating within God. Our imagination, our ideas come from that source. If you don't want to call it God, whatever it is that you call it, creator, source, divine flow, universal law, whatever it is, we're in it. So we can catch hold of all new ideas and new things and new ways of being. The part that steps in there is our will. Are we so invested in being right and knowing that we paralyze ourselves from going forward into the unknown and having new and different experiences and testing the edge of where we need to spread our wings and fly? It's time for us to go into that unknown space, knowing that we get to decide, and I lost the thread with where I was going. I will pick it back up at some point. But it's our choice. We get to decide what we're going to do with it. And if we can deeply realize that we're in God, we get braver. And we get to step out just a little bit further and decide, okay, well, I was right and they were wrong, and was there a space at which my being right became my being pig-headed? Is there a space at which my justified indignation became this hill that I decided to die on that I don't need to be on? Question your answers. Question your answers. Because I could be very right now and very single. And he could be very right now and very single. We decided, all right, recalibration. We were both baffled on the heels of this blow-up that seemingly came out of nowhere, but that analyzing it afterward made absolute sense for why and where it happened. And he's not all to blame, and neither am I. And we can both learn and grow. And we both know that, oh, sure, arguments are probably going to happen again. However, there's a threshold that has been stepped over instead of a door slammed. It's our choices. It's our belief systems. It's what we do with what life does with us. We have this opportunity in every moment to question the answers we come up with. Because I'm the mom is not an answer. Oh, it is an answer. It's just not a really helpful one. You know, I can't tell you how many times I said it to my kids, because I'm the mom. There's no place for growth there, right? The other piece of that is, well, this is just the way I am. There's a door slammed. This is just the way I am. We can do miraculous things with our minds, with our actions, with the things that we decide to do and the ways that we decide to be. Or we can close our lives down better and faster than anybody else ever could. How can I win if I'm not on my side? Where are you not on your side? Where do you not give yourself half the consideration that you give everybody else in your life? Where do you not allow yourself to hit a brick wall and find out where the door might be? Or to even turn around and do it. I found my thread. I found the thread. Yay. The thread was, there's only half the equation in finding the wound, in figuring out where it is and why it happened and why you have developed survival instincts around it, and how justified you are in those survival instincts, and how right you are, and how they protected you and kept you safe and strong and resilient. Here's the other half. If we don't replace those wounds, and I don't mean make them go away, they're always there. They're always there. These little fractured parts of us that are hiding somewhere in the dark that now have made protector parts to go in front of them so they won't let us see them because we're so afraid of going there again. That's all worthwhile. We need to figure that out, and they're always going to be there, but we can free them. When I went into internal family systems therapy, and I highly recommend it, if you don't even want to go see a therapist, go to the Dr. YouTube and look up internal family systems therapy. Internal family systems therapy. There are a variety of doctors, including the gentleman who originated this type of therapeutic model, out on YouTube that will walk you through the process of questioning and going inside to find these parts of yourself that dealt with some real nasty stuff that are still there holding it in clenched fists and maybe even in the dark. What we need and benefit from doing, we don't have to, it's up to us, but what we can benefit from doing is finding those little parts in those places, and instead of shoving them down further and creating barriers and barbed wire fences and shock collars in front of them, we can meet them with compassion and love and say, thank you so much, 6-year-old Trish, for holding that trauma all this time. I'm not 6 anymore. I'm 60. I've made it here. I can do this a different way now. You can be free. You don't have to hold it anymore. And then, as I'm analyzing my stuff and digging in and getting in there, saying, you know what? Gosh, that was 3 hours. I've done this for 3 hours today. Good on me. Time to go have some fun now. Let's make a new experience that shows that I am not 6 anymore and that I can show up differently. Let's go do something new and different. Let me step out. Let's go listen to music. Let's go eat something new at a kind of restaurant I've never been at. Let's take a walk in nature. Let's go talk with supportive friends. Let's go do something new, because the therapy to find the wound and deal with and address the wound and meet it with compassion and know that it lives inside of us and that we still are worthy and that we love ourselves into growth, that is half of it. The other half is creating new neural connections. The ones that say, when somebody looks at me that way, it doesn't mean they're my mom with a different face, or my ex-spouse that we had a terrible relationship. It doesn't mean this person is that person. John even said to me at one point of our discussions, he said, I know I was horrible. I know what I said and did was out of bounds and was wrong. He said, and I feel like at part of it, when you were looking at me, you were seeing someone else. Can you move yourself to a place in life that when someone has the bravery to say something like that to you, you can consider it, measure whether it's true or not, and maybe even find a place of growth in it? That's my challenge to myself. Should you choose to accept it, it can be your challenge to yourself. I want to close with this. You already have the body of your last 1,000 meals. You already have the mind of your last 1,000 conversations or 10,000 thoughts. You already have the bank account of your last 1,000 transactions. Nothing about your current situation is a mystery. It's a receipt. And so it is.
Thank you for joining us today. Please visit www.unityofsebring.org for more information, to submit a prayer request, or to donate to our ministry. We hope to see you again very soon.